YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. Back with, child, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Jesus, take the wheel. It's a lot going on. So here's the deal. I got this news story off of Bossip.com, which is sort of a deviation from where I normally go to get my little juicy tidbits and whatnot. But there wasn't a whole lot going on some of the other sites that I visit. So I checked out Bossip and came across this news story. It's not a new news story, but it was sort of kicked back up because there was a follow-up news story to it last night. And after researching it a little more and getting the whole dynamic of the situation, it does bring up some interesting questions. So, of course, I had to bring it to my Subtastics, and I thought that we could talk about it. Because honestly, of all the news story reactions that I've done, this one was like the biggest WTF I've ever faced. So, we're going to get into it in one moment. Cool. So here's the deal, people. Apparently, last October, in Arvada, Colorado, an 11-year-old boy was in class. Now, this 11-year-old boy, who the news has decided to call Tim, or Timmy, he has ADD. And his therapist recommended that when he gets upset or angry or, those kind of emotions, that the best course of action for him to take was to draw pictures rather than, disrupting the entire class with an emotional outburst. So evidently, Timmy was in class, he was angry, and he drew a picture. By the way, Timmy is 11 years old. 11-year-old Timmy. That's what you need to know. Trust me, you'll want to remember this. So Timmy's in class and he draws this picture because he's angry. And the picture, it's all stick figures. There is a picture that he's titled Me. And it's a stick figure of presumably himself holding a gun. And then there are 3 more stick figures in the picture. And those stick figures are titled Teachers. They Must Die. Again, this is on the advice of his therapist that he draw this picture rather than, express himself vocally as to disrupt the classroom and disturb the other students and potentially the teacher. So again, Timmy holding a gun and 3 other stick figures that he's labeled Teachers, under which he says they must die. He draws the picture, he starts to calm down, he feels better. He goes to throw the picture away, but the teacher intercepts it, sees the picture, and sends him to the principal's office. He goes to the principal's office. The principal determines that he is not a threat to the school, calls his parents, and sends him back to class. Okay? You with me so far? So we're all good, right? He goes home later that night to his parents, of course. And at some point during the evening, Arvada police come to Timmy's house, place Timmy in handcuffs, and take 11-year-old Timmy to jail. Now, the actual charge is, give me one second, interfering with staff and students at an educational facility, which incidentally I've never heard of. But it gets even better than this. Once 11-year-old Timmy is in jail, he is denied his dinner, he is denied the ability to see his parents, and he is denied the ability to go home. He is sent from the jail, 11-year-old Timmy, to a mental hospital where he is kept under observation for 3 days because of a picture that he drew. Are you with me so far? Can I get a witness? So yeah, that's the essence of this story. And the follow-up news story, which apparently just aired on Fox News Colorado, last night, February 22nd, was that the Arvada police felt justified in the arrest of young 11-year-old Timmy over the picture that he drew, which he drew on the advice of his therapist. They felt it was the best course of action. Now, it's very easy to laugh this off, and I know I'm doing it myself right now. It's very easy to laugh this off and say, this is ridiculous and it was blown out of proportion. And do I feel that it was blown out of proportion? Hell yes. It's an 11-year-old kid who now is probably more, traumatized than he ever was to begin with, because he was doing what he was told to do, which according to his therapist was the right thing to do, but according to the law was the wrong thing to do. It brings up a lot, but this is the real clincher for me, and this is what I wanted to talk to y'all about. An 11-year-old kid in Arvada, Colorado draws a picture of himself holding a gun and other people in the picture that he's labeled as teachers. But it wasn't that long ago in another town in Colorado that 2 students murdered, scores of people. And of course I'm referring to Columbine and the incident at Columbine High School with those 2 young students, I want to say Dylan and Eric. So is it a case of overreaction, or is it a case of prevention? I guess that's my main question. My personal opinion is they went overboard. It's an 11-year-old child. But then on the other side of the coin, those 2 kids from Columbine weren't that much older than young Timmy is now. So is it just being overly cautious, or is it overboard? That's my question. The news story, of course, will be posted below. And y'all, let me know what you think. I need some help on this one, for real. It's funny to me. I can only imagine how I would feel if it was my 11-year-old child. I would like to think that I can imagine how you would feel if it was your 11-year-old child. But are we living in a time where those kind of precautions are necessary? Is it better to err on the side of caution? Is it better to be, is overreacting better than underreacting? Y'all, let me know. I need some assistance with this. And until next time, y'all, please know that I'll be back very, very soon. I got a random video coming at y'all tonight, and I will talk to y'all later. One love.